The reason why you guys resonate with me collectively as a group is because of where you come from. You saw the palette of Somerset East and Queenstown and all of that, the dryness and all of that. I come from that same landscape. So I understand you in that sense. I'm one of you in that sense. For me, the quietest place at home when I was living with my mother was the back of the yard, just behind the house. That's where I'd smoke a cigarette and I'd look at the sky and I'd imagine all sorts of things. Do you know what I used to do? The thing that was my biggest habit, it was probably like 16, 17. I used to interview myself. And I was this philosophical director. I'm saying that because even it's an image. I obviously saw that somewhere. This smoker and concentration and this artist thing. So I used to play that out in the backyard, not as a young child, like between 16 and 18. That was the age where I used to do that in the backyard, and I'd sit there and I'd answer interviews. Like questions, so why is your work like this? Why is it so violent? And I'll project these things. And I'll be like, I'm expressing it because, I come from a very particular past. My brother has murdered his girlfriend. My father has murdered his girlfriend. So I understand blood. I prepared my questions in my teenage years. And questions that I'm being asked to this day at 45. Do you get what I'm saying? And the reason why I always mention the thing about not having gone to school for it and all of that stuff, it's because I'm trying to show you guys that I come from the same space. It's not like I come from some other place. The only difference between me and anyone else is perspective. I don't know, maybe I fell on my head when I was a child, but I've always watched my life in me participating in. So I'm participating, I'm doing whatever I'm doing. But does that make sense? Yes. That's always been the situation. And I feel blessed for that perspective because even the biggest traumas I've experienced in life, even though they're happening to me, just from there. Do you understand? And hence why when I found the medium, I was like, hey, this is me. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. This is exactly how I look at life. I look at it in the same way that a film plays out. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So all I did was just be stubborn about that and pursue it for my entirety of life. There's nothing I've pursued more. I'm not saying it's the most important thing to me, but at the same time it is. It isn't, but it also is. Do you get what I mean? I've found something where I'm like, okay, this is the medium that I would like to not only express myself, but to also master. I don't just want to use this medium, I want to be damn good at it. Because it's a course. There's a course aspect to it. Forget the popularity game, okay, of being a hit, not a hit, failure, not a failure. There are many great movies, some of the best films ever made, you will never hear or ever get to see. They're not even available for you to watch. Do you get what I'm saying? So popularism and what is in that context is commercialism. It's got nothing to do with what's real and what's actually worthwhile. Do you get what I mean? So in me and doing my craft, the minute I learn the rules of it, I want to be the best I can be in that and to master it. Because at least where I come from, I don't know many people who've had such opportunities to do that, to be a master of a craft. Yeah. The only thing I can draw from where we've had those opportunities, and we haven't necessarily taken them, but the opportunities have been there, has been sport. Where I come from is boxing. We've made so many world champions, but even in that there's tragedy. But in this space, here I can excel by cleaning up my pain. What a beautiful level of therapy it is. So rather than hurting people, I'd rather engage my creativity because that's where a lot of things lie. Yeah. And especially for teenage people who've grown, not all of us have been affirmed in life. You understand? And that's really the thing around poverty, is that you are around a lot of more poisonous adults than you are the other. So what it is already usapuma from your mom, you're already fighting a tide. Do you get what I mean? It's already fighting against you. You're not in an environment like most white kids who grow up with nannies and young, you know. The most trauma they'll hear is a hoot from a car down the road. From a hoot. Do you get what I'm saying? Look at that versus the images when you close your eyes of your childhood, everything that has been imprinted on you. Do you get what I mean? By the system, by your family, by your loved ones, and by yourself. More importantly than any of them, by yourself. Because it's your choice if what you do with it. And what I use for that is my own siblings. I'm not trying to make myself better or what have you, but especially with times where I'm not feeling great. We don't feel great all the time. Yeah. But I use the measurement that you see in Knuckle City of saying, to come from the same space and experience the same pain. But how come on the other side we've come out differently? And that's a choice. It's just a choice. But you're gonna have to do something with that trauma. I'm not saying ignore it, because you can't. It's there. But I'm saying contextualize it differently. You have to survive. Not just for you, but for your children. Otherwise, they're gonna inherit it. Promise you. It'll kill you all. So you've got to find the formula for it. The first is to look at it and really engage it. But give it another context that does not leave you as a victim. Whatever way you spin it, it can't be spun hey, it's your psyche said, you can say it in words, but your psyche can't say, it happened to me. Therefore, this is what I am. Someone that happened to. That can't be the way you define yourself. So find a way to contextualize it, and only you have that answer. Even if you go to a psychologist is, there's no psychologist who ever tells you what's up. You the one who to type, but allow one for you to talk. Do you get what I'm saying? And you determine your own pain, what you're willing to struggle with, by what you decide you want to chase and pay attention to. Even if you're not chasing, but pay attention to. What you're paying attention to, each thing has its own drama. So to me, it's like, okay, well, that's what you decided. Yeah. So choose your struggle. But that's it from me. I'm very grateful. There's healing for me as well in it, in being in the transmutative aspect of it. Is to say, Wuti, I recognize where you come from, because I come from a similar space. And the only difference is I've learned to cultivate my voice, which you have too. You have that individual voice. Yeah, find ways to cultivate it. And this is a far easier and better time than before. I can promise you that much. Thank you.